Hello, yes, this is a Star Trek stream where we watch Star Trek and Voyager in particular. As usual, I will not be playing the show on stream because that's crazy, and my channel would be immediately deleted. So instead, if everyone could just queue up the episodes at home, that'd be fantastic. Today's episodes are there's a grand tradition in Voyager of it seems every single week there are two good episodes and one that's kind of meh, not bad, just it's fine. Today's good ones are Dragon's Teeth, which is first, and then the Voyager conspiracy, that's third, and then the middle episode, it's okay. It's a Chakotay episode. I mean, Seven's in it prominently, but it's fine. It's one small step. It's another episode that I've watched exactly once because it's okay. But yeah, Dragon's Teeth, Voyager Conspiracy, solid episodes, really good. Dragon's Teeth, who hates Dragon? Why do you hate Dragon's Teeth? Dragon's Teeth is awesome. I mean, it's an episode where Seven is really stupid for no good reason. I don't know why the writers made her stupid for a scene, but whatever. She got over that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Voyager Conspiracy is just, I mean, 709 the conspiracy theorist. It's pretty good. Yeah, she started reading some of the wrong news outlets. Went a bit over the deep end. And by the wrong news outlets, apparently what set her off was reading all the news outlets at once at the same time. So don't do that. Next week, though. Next week, it's debatable whether it's the grand tradition of two good episodes, one okay episode. Next week includes Fairhaven, which a bunch of people say they hate and it's bad, and I don't agree. I think it's really good. Yes, it is kind of sketchy in stereotyping Irish people, but I mean, that's also a grand tradition in Star Trek. We've been doing that since at least early TNG. God, there's so much cultural stereotyping in Star Trek. Are we sure this show is progressive? It's usually progressive. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's entertaining is what it is. But yeah, we don't have to worry about that for now. For now, we just have to worry about the VOD War, Dragon's Teeth. Everyone queue up Dragon's Teeth. We'll be pressing play in about 2 minutes. Once again, no, I will not be playing it on stream. It's going to be blurry. Yes, Dragon's Teeth is the one that teaches us that it's okay to stereotype an entire people. That is the one, yes. Specifically, in this case, the Vaudouar, because their government was militaristic. To be fair, though, it's literally the exact same government that everyone was talking about. It's not like they're Vaudouar from 3,000 years ago, so it was like many, many, many generations since then, and it's just... To be fair, it's literally the exact same people. They just were frozen for a bit. But yeah, no, Star Trek is... It's okay to be racist against certain alien species in Star Trek. That's just how it goes. You remember that DS9 episode? I think season 1 or 2 where Jake and Nog are hanging out. And Sisko's like, no, you can't hang out with him. He's a Ferengi boy. We don't trust those people. Like, Jesus, Sisko, you can't say that. Speaking of the Ferengi, I was thinking earlier about the Ferengi, like what happened in TNG to the Ferengi? Because the first time we learn about them is an encounter at Farpoint, where Picard goes, ah, yes, you want to do business with the Ferengi. I hope they find you as tasty as they did their past associates. It's like, what? That never comes up. Is Picard just lying? Is he just being racist? What's the deal? Do they actually eat people? They've never eaten people. They do have sharp teeth, so they look like they could. God, there's a lot of racism against alien species in Star Trek. Cardassians, Ferengi, Bajorans, but we're supposed to understand that that's wrong. Whereas most... There's the racism against just... How do you even narrow it down? Just like all of Africa? The TNG episode, you know the one I'm talking about. Oh, you should also press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, it's just... You all know the episode that's racist against all of Africa. We know this. It's non-specific. Also, here's a good tip. Never wear high heels in an apocalypse. If you're being orbitally bombarded, find some flats. Much easier to escape the bombs. See, Gedrin has flats. He's planning ahead. So this is a lovely little scene where we get to develop some sympathy for the Vaudouin. They're undergoing a tragedy. It's so sad. What could they have possibly done to deserve this? Well, you're not going to dream specifically. Maybe he will. Her, maybe not so much. $5 years. Yeah, seems legit. Should be good. And no, this isn't. They're not like doing Mass Effect Reapers. They're not going into cryo to evade some great entity. It's just, people are unhappy with them. This is. Okay, here's the episode. The episode is a game of Stellaris, where you start out and there's an advanced determined exterminator. Well, not determined exterminator, those are robots. There's an advanced fanatic purifier species as your neighbor, and you have to beat them back. It's a whole thing. They like bomb your worlds. They start kidnapping people. It's just a whole thing. Eventually, you're able to beat them back, fight them to their homeworld, and set your fleets to orbital bombardment, Armageddon stance. Armageddon stance is the best stance, by the way. That should absolutely be a default. Also, Gyrinx, I don't know if you're trying to talk, but you are not, in fact. I should play more Stellaris. It's a good game. But yeah, they're fanatic purifiers. That's all they are. That's all I've really got to say about the intro. So, I am curious, because they're going into cryo for 5 years. So I'm wondering how they're generating the power to maintain that. Are they drawing power from like the geothermal energy? What are they doing? Really good batteries. Ooh, garbage tunnel.
Hey, I'm actually on a mic now, I think. There we go.
Ah, yes. Hello.
You can tell I wasn't really saying a whole lot that was, conversation changing. Mostly just, yeah, agreeing. So.
Cool, cool. Wizard. I wonder how big a piece of debris the deflector can actually work with. Because it's designed for like space dust, right? Does this count as space dust?
Imagine.
Big chunks of metal?
That would be, yeah.
Ooh, I like your ship design. It's very triangular. A little round.
Underspace, as opposed to subspace.
Yes. Also, why does he have to say it all sinister like? Come on, man. Yes, we are on the same side. Why would you say it like that? Well, why?
So much for that.
Everybody's so xenophobic in this show. Every single week they run into a species that's like, no, you can't know anything about our space. Can you just leave? Go to warp? Why disable them? Just leave.
Yeah. Of course.
God, why is the... You know, if you had just left, you wouldn't have to worry about the warp drive being
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Also, wait, how has the warp drive been damaged and disabled when their shields are at 82%? How do shields work?
Yeah. It's a good question. Like, what are the shields for?
They're there for dramatic tension. That's all
Yeah.
they do.
It's a number that can go down, and it's scary when it goes down.
And look, I'm not okay. Paramount Plus ads. I mean, I'm not saying you should go and download MKVs from certain websites for free to avoid paying for it, but you know, you definitely should not do that. You should not go and download the episodes for free to get rid of all the ads and stuff.
Do they play in the middle of the show or something?
I they might. I think
Oof.
probably if you're doing the don't they have like a no commercials tier and then a some commercials tier? I
Oh,
think
do
that's a
they?
thing these days. I don't know. I don't subscribe to Paramount Plus anymore. Since like
Uh,
Discovery season 1 came out and there was a free month or something. About 800 years. Wow, about the same age as that debris in the underspace corridor.
hey,
Wow.
coincidence. Oof.
Oh,
That is some
okay.
bad
Yes,
compositing. Anyway.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You want to talk about bad compositing? There's a scene. There's a scene later in this episode where the camera starts to the left of where they just parked the ship and they pan over to it, but Voyager isn't actually there for a few frames. It
Oh,
just pops into existence.
wow.
Which I don't know why. They don't have to do culling. This isn't real time rendering. Who does occlusion culling on pre rendered cinematics? I don't know what scene it is. Just keep an eye out. Every time
Right.
we get an exterior shot, it pans from left to right. Just watch out for Voyager popping in.
Fun. And I'm gonna miss seeing familiar interiors with all the shows using, tech to actually have interiors.
So they don't have to use the same cave over and over and over again?
Yeah, yeah. I
Also, why
mean,
is
it's
this built into a cave? Why isn't there a room?
yeah.
Oh, it is geothermal. Okay, they have power. Good.
Yeah.
It's the Protheans. It's the Zelnaga. It's it's the Forerunners. Okay, Gedrin's okay. He's fine. At
I was
least in this
just so
case, there's.
disappointed with the Expanse when they introduced a Forerunner race of aliens. Like,
Are they also humans' ancestors? Or
no, I
created
don't think
humans?
so.
Oh,
In
okay.
the Expanse's case,
Okay, so this is the scene where Seven just turns into an idiot for a few minutes, but she'll get
hey,
better immediately afterward.
no, she's holding the idiot ball. That's all.
I guess she's not that big of an idiot, because how does she know how to work that panel? She figured it out real fast. It's in a different language and a configuration she's presumably never seen before. They are hostile. Opinion on Voyager? Voyager, okay. Voyager, I think, is probably the weakest of the old show. Well, of that era. Between TNG, DS9,
Yeah,
Voyager, and
yeah.
Enterprise, I'd say Voyager's the weakest.
I
That
think
said,
that's pretty fair.
seasons like 4 through 7 are still pretty good for the most part.
Yeah. Well, the best episodes of Voyager are as good as any of them. It's just sort of your typical episode. It's just yeah.
Like at the start of the stream, I said there's a grand tradition of there every week we watch 2 good episodes and one that's kind of meh.
Yeah.
Season 1 to 3 of Voyager, it's fine.
Always takes a few seasons to get good, which is,
It took longer for Voyager though, I think.
yeah.
Surprisingly well preserved, honestly. If there was a crack in the whatever.
Oh, yeah. It's true. Not a lot of microbes down there, I guess.
Oh, if you want a really spicy Star Trek take, here's mine. I think TOS is the worst series of them all.
Wow.
However, I do think the TOS movies are really good, better than the TNG movies.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, original series. I mean, it's the 60s. It's harder to appreciate television from that long ago. Yeah. I mean,
It's just hard to
again,
watch.
the good episodes of the original series are really good. But
Oh yeah, there are good ones for sure, but on average, it's
yeah, yeah, it is kind of a
it's
mess.
kind of painful.
Yeah, the movies are really good, especially the even numbered ones for some reason.
The one where they accidentally, or in fact do not at all, shoot the Klingon Chancellor ship with a torpedo, like that whole sequence, 10 out of 10. Trying to solve the mystery, where'd the torpedo come from?
Right. Is that in Undiscovered Country?
I have no idea. It's the last one.
Yeah, yeah. That was good.
The Whales, of course, 10 out of 10
Oh,
movie
the
all the way
whales.
through.
Yes. Star Trek Save the Whales. Amazing.
What were they planning to do exactly in 5 years? We knew this? Okay, they knew that. I was gonna say, like, how are they gonna live here if it was...
Yeah.
But no, they didn't plan to live here. They're good. Well, they're not good. They're bad, but Okay, so now we know this species is evil.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's it. That was a tipping their hand there. I do.
Yeah, are there doorways we can duck into? It doesn't seem like your umbrella of your shield emitter even works, Janeway. What's the point?
Umbrella integrity at 80%.
I mean, in that case, if it was an umbrella integrity, yeah, I could understand that letting some raindrops through if there were like little holes in it. Maybe
Yeah,
that's what
that's
happened.
true.
Maybe the 80% means there's little holes in the shield.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I never really
And
talked about it that
they
way,
just
but it would
very
make the most
precisely
sense.
shot through the holes. Oh my god, this guy is a World War I strategist.
Oh,
If there are
Neelix.
bullets coming at you in a hail from forward, do you just accept that you're being shot at? You walk with dignity. No.
Right. You fly with dignity.
Or maybe you just hide in the trench. Maybe the trench is good.
Yeah.
I don't like. Look, okay. As much as I'm pretty much okay with Neelix in the later seasons, he's substantially less creepy. Why is his food hairy?
Good question.
I still have serious concerns about this man.
I mean, I guess that's just an easy way for the show to demonstrate
It's
food that's
alien food.
unappetizing. Because, yeah, food shouldn't be hairy. I think I pretty much agree with that.
Unless it's a triple.
Can I think of any counterexamples?
Like scallops.
Like some fruits are fuzzy on the outside, and that's weird, but you can just peel it off.
How is the satellite still there? It's a military installation. Why didn't they destroy it?
Oh, yeah.
Does it use the same symbols?
Yeah.
What's the... This part never makes any sense. It happens all the time.
Yeah. It's just a number that you had to enter in, and of course, the number measured the same units he's used to, and yeah.
If he used the Windows 95, he's going to use the latest version.
He couldn't find the control panel? Is that what happened? Now that it's hidden in a submenu?
It's always enticing.
All you have to do is help them commit a little genocide, and you'll be a little closer.
Yeah. It's a little genocide. It's a treat.
Are we sure we want to do this? This looks like a... Look, come on.
Yeah.
Janeway, come on. Ooh, title drop. Is that how dragons work?
Apparently.
Is that an actual myth, or did Star Trek just make that up?
I know.
Gucci Moya will have to ask.
Oh, wait, did Voyager just pop into existence? I wasn't looking.
Oh, shoot.
Dang it, I think that might have been it. Okay, that's a bad plan. One guy dies, you just lose an entire corridor?
Yeah.
Is the best strategy.
Have we seen that actor before? Scientist dude? He sounds familiar.
Ah.
Who's the Vodwar scientist actor?
They're very
Oh, I thought there was a puppet there for a second.
Yeah, that's her puppet.
Oh, it is a puppet. Okay.
Yeah. She's being lonely.
Because even the Vodwar children are evil.
Tony isn't here.
Hi, Eddie. Between not being able to make friends and not wanting to make friends. Yeah, this is really sorry. I came in late. What is this episode about? Because I Dragon's Teeth.
This episode is all about how there are such things as inherently evil people.
Yeah.
Inherently evil races is what this episode is about.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
They're like the Star Wars Rakatans. They're inherently a dark side race. They can't help it.
The Vadwar.
Yes.
They're not even bad.
What are you...
Race evil, or is their whole society evil?
Okay, so they happen to have a zenith of civilization, and they happen to decline, and now they're just trying to get back to their old.
Okay, but the reasons for the decline were people rebelled against their imperialistic genociding regime, and their idea of returning to power is to continue the genocide and enslavement.
Okay, they're bad.
When you put it that way.
But what if they
There
just
are
wanted to?
some contributing factors here.
What if they just wanted to reassert themselves, old borders, and
I mean, that
they promised not
that's
to be
called-
in itself
Conquest
could be a pretty aggressive
You know,
campaign.
like,
I mean,
just
that's
cra-
What if we just...
Just wants to do.
Look, it's fine. Russia just
Exactly.
wants to reassert the old borders. That's totally fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no. And
No.
also probably the people have changed so much since 900 years.
These people haven't, though. Literally the exact same people continuing the conquest. Oh, God, why are they so... They're cartoonishly evil, and look at their stupid neck flaps.
They have great costume work, though. Nobody else does that.
I wonder if they have motor control over the flaps. Could they, like... If they're hanging out with someone
Yeah.
and the other person's hot, could they, like, flap to cool them down?
Yeah.
Get a nice breeze?
Can Oda do the Vodwar neck trick? That's my question.
God.
And I really like this because in the etymological vocabulary of people, there's often your vibrating.
Gyrinx, it's for you.
That
Your phone, it's for you.
I
But
felt
yes,
I never didn't go off.
so words
I
like
think so.
It's buzzing.
Slav, for example, come give our word for slave because Eastern European people were like very cheap labor. So we use the word for slave for the Slavic people.
Okay, now hang on. These short stories,
Yeah.
are they actually about the Vodwar, or are they just German?
um,
Oh, yes, we should send them there. We should 100% send the Vodwar to that system.
so we lost, until like this random German businessman who decided that he was going to be an archaeologist in about 1823. He discovered the city of Troy. We didn't know if a lot of like antiquity was like actually a thing because we hadn't dug it up yet. We didn't know about dinosaurs either. So we didn't know about an empire called the Hittite Empire, but it's kind of mentioned in the Bible. In Genesis, Abraham buys a cave from a Hittite, and we didn't know what that was. So then we come to discover it was like a great empire from Turkey to Lebanon. But culture,
Dinosaurs.
extinct empires, extinct civilizations. The Mexican flag has the Aztec story of how they discovered their ancient capital Tenochtitlan, it said that you would see an eagle eating a snake on top of a cactus, and that's where you'll build your new city. And that's what they have in the center of the Mexican flag. It's an eagle eating a snake on top of a cactus.
Okay.
You know, the ancient, conquerors, their myths die hard. So Neelix is doing great social.
Wait. Is that common? Do birds? I assume eagles would usually eat snakes.
Yeah.
Do they often perch
Yeah.
in cacti to do it? Because I was wondering, like, if the person who told the story,
Yeah.
whatever explorer it was just tired of looking around. It was just like, look, come on.
Look. Yeah.
We found it,
As it was
as the
foretold.
prophecy has foretold.
Have you guys ever seen that before? Seen what? An eagle on a cactus.
Yeah, I just saw one on Tuesday. What? No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. I think that's where we need to park.
I will end my run where we see a street light on a corner above a house. Wow, we have found one. I can go home.
It's a Voyager episode, right? Where these Klingons think they've discovered this gifted child. And it's B'Elanna's child. And literally everything that happens to the ship, they're like, wait a minute, this is the prophecy being before our very eyes.
Yep. Just keep it nice and vague so everything counts.
Yep.
And then the final thing is that he will heal us all. And then the doctor discovered, anyway, that kind of, but it's a spoiler for a season 7 episode. But then the doctor discovered a cure used by the baby. And even the most skeptical, like diehard skeptics against the child of B'Elanna being the promised Messiah, they convert to believing that the child is there. So they settle on the planet. Anyway, the problem solved.
Seven, the society you're trying to reconstruct is... Come on.
Yeah. Not picking up on any of the signs here.
And so the other important part is of this episode, we established that the Borg are like 900 years old because this Vador says they were only a baby species when we were ascended.
Well,
Sorry, I can't stop looking at its flaps.
The out of focus flaps.
Yeah.
They're more like ridges because they don't really flap.
Are they proto-Cardassians?
Yeah, and then Enterprise had the people who puffed up, right? So that was better special.
Sorry,
camp.
the people who puffed up? You mean the Denobulans, Dr. Flax?
No. There was another race that had these really puffy cheeks, and they were round as Packlids.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was probably rude to stare at his flaps. Never stare at someone's flaps.
Like how in Hansel and Gretel they leave breadcrumbs as a trail.
I don't think I've actually read that story. Who is the trail for? Is
That
it to
sounds
find
familiar.
their way back?
I think it's for the father to find them and like hack the witch to pieces or whatever.
God, freaking Germans.
Yeah, no, it's like you got to teach your kids how to like
Murder an old woman living in the woods.
survives in the woods. Um,
The results came back and said that you're evil. Do you have any comments on this?
Yeah. We'll print out right here.
this
Evil.
was the really important consequence too. The fact that they had these corridors, like they were basically moles digging underground.
99% evil, 1% hot gas.
They had this amazing
SpongeBob
technology
relevant again.
that let them sneak up behind their opponents. Janeway did a good job piecing together the history.
Janeway's really angry here, but like this is the same thing that Klingons do, right? And they're allies.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure this is what nearly every society except the Federation does.
Yeah.
There are three kinds of civilizations in Star Trek. There's the Federation, there's evil conquering empires, and there's the society consisting entirely of farmers. That's all we have. There's three
Pretty
kinds.
much. And there's the commercialized
there's
ones, which is like Ferengi. I think there are a couple other. Oh, the Orion. This is a mix, actually.
There's the capitalism societies.
Yeah.
Okay, conquest, capitalism, farming. Honestly, I don't know how the Vaadwaur is supposed to even be a threat in their ships. I know they're trying to take over Voyager to get its weapons, but like they don't get Voyager in the end. They end up just leaving with their little patrol ships. Can't like literally anybody just blow them out of the sky?
Yeah, they had like
Probably.
the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Sorry, Jerry, you were saying?
No.
Hey, Robo.
Hello.
Happy Sunday.
Oh, this is Dragon's Teeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
It's an episode all about how it's okay to be racist against an entire society.
How history is filled with the decline and fall of civilizations. The Aztecs were also defeated because all the empires under them were tired of paying tribute and losing their people to human sacrifice.
Is that what happened? I'm realizing just right now that I never actually know the history of the Mayan or the Aztec Empire. I kind of just assumed they got murdered by Spain.
That's the basics of it, yeah.
Yeah, but Cortez only had like a couple of dozen men. So clearly the weaknesses within the empire that it relied upon horrendous human rights abuses is something that Cortez exploited. But yes,
well, I'm sure the introduction of Spanish culture probably had a huge impact on their civilization, and it started unraveling even without,
And also, so the Spaniards had guns that helps a little bit, but also people are scared of the noise. They had horses, and the war horses the Spaniards had were the best in the world. Their horses could trot side to side, front to back. They were trained to obey commands. And yeah, germs too.
That's not like human rights abuses or something, avoided by all of the conquering armies of the time.
Cortez used the strategy that I keep saying people should use in all these episodes, which is he brought guns.
Yeah.
Use a gun.
Right.
He did.
Use gun on civilization.
That's kind of saves a lot of time for everyone involved.
Is Ryan quiet for anybody else?
No, he's perfectly.
Let me say
appropriately
something and look at the audio levels on OBS. Oh, OBS looks good, according to.
I've got you at like 180%, and you're still kind of a little behind everybody else.
Well, maybe you should reduce
Maybe a little
everybody else and boost your system volume.
That's one way to fix it.
So 900 years ago, the world looked so different, and so did the galaxy. It's amazing that they thought of the quadrant like that.
Hey, what are you doing? Playing a video game?
Looks like Mars. Or
How
Venus.
could these Vodwar ships possibly stand up to Voyager? Like, even if they weren't obsolete, they've been sitting there for 800 years collecting dust. Like, do they have charged batteries? What's the deal?
Batteries die.
Do they have fuel? Is the fuel still good?
Fuel becomes water. This alien is a little bit too much with the makeup, but he looks like the role he's playing. He's usually some inspector with like a alien planet.
The Federation ship that woke up the Vodwar, the genocidal conquering empire?
Look, that was 900 years ago.
It was 900 minutes ago.
Morals were different back then. You know, a little bit of blood and iron. But yeah,
Oh, it's time for one of them to do a heroic sacrifice. Yes, of course.
so Europe was a Holy Roman Empire. Well, Germany, right? So that included what we would call Czechoslovakia and Switzerland today. Also like Netherlands and Belgium and Luxembourg.
And Switzerland wasn't in the Holy Roman Empire after the 13th century at all.
Okay, yeah, but I'm counting 900 years ago, right? So maybe my math is off. But basically, I mean, by the Reformation, isn't Zwingli and them, aren't they still in technically Switzerland, Zurich, and that's part of the Holy Roman Empire? But if you're European, I'll take your word. I'm just American.
All I can confirm for you right now is that nobody's part of the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah. So, France was also a bit divided. There was like a kingdom of Burgundy, so it wasn't really united. And also, so they elected the Holy Roman Emperor, like all the electors, which are like the princes of the various hundreds of German princely kingdoms.
Wait, hang on. Okay, back to the episode for a second. So he just said they're going to put Voyager's crew into stasis instead of murdering them? Come on. You can't let revenge get in the way of practicality. Just execute them. And don't, like, gather them all in the cargo bay and do it all at once so they have a chance to escape. Just shoot them. Come on. People allow their... Too often, villains allow their evil to become personal. They need to be efficient.
That's all they do, actually. Like the end of the Skywalker saga, when Kylo Ren kept attacking the Phantom of Luke Skywalker.
Oh, okay. So I mentioned that this is just a Stellaris race earlier, but I think really the Vodwar are the Prekiki T.
Mm-hmm.
Except they're not geckos, but that's okay.
This is
Janeway
really
just swore on my Star Trek twice.
mission. You have to recover an ancient artifact
Pretty gecko-like. I
without
would give
waking
it a
up
pass.
without waking up the entire civilization. They didn't really have much of a chance. And Janeway destroys the subspace corridors, right? As she leaves.
I don't
Sorry
think
to spoil the
she does. She
episode.
definitely does to the Borg. I don't think she does here.
Okay, yeah. Because there was a Hirogen communications network they were using too to talk to the Alpha Quadrant.
What is the origins of the Hirogen communications array? Because there's surely no way they built it themselves, right? That doesn't seem like their style.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like it
found it.
also was Vodwar. Did they just steal it?
Yeah. That makes more sense than anything else.
Like when we saw in the background, the interior of the communications array, there weren't even like skulls hanging up. It's not a real Hirogen chip if it doesn't have skulls.
I think in the canon, it's Hirogen. They built it over centuries of nomadic hunting.
So who are the people assigned to work there? Is that like a punishment?
Maybe. Maybe like whoever has the smallest kill count every season.
The Herodians did have that guy who wrote the hologram programs that got out of control, didn't they?
Yeah, they're the hologram
They have to
people.
do a shift at the communications relay.
So the Vodwar escaped. We will be seeing them again, but only kind of. We see a Vodwar ship. Oh, we will be seeing one again in Enterprise, though. But that's 200 years ago.
What do you mean we see one in Enterprise?
In the...
A reused asset?
No, we see a Teray... Or not a Teray, an actual Vodwar person. In that the brain steely computer thing. The episode where they steal Travis and like hook his brain up to a computer in the repair station. The automated repair station that is powered by brains.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
I don't remember seeing the Vodwar.
It just says he died, and it just keeps him though. It keeps like a whole array of people for its own.
Yeah, you can't really make it out super well unless you like freeze frame it and really look for him. But there's a Vodwar in there.
Oh wow, that thing's been going for a while, huh?
Yeah, so if you look up Vodwar on Memory Alpha, there's one that's like unnamed Vodwar, and you just see him hanging up from the ceiling.
That's crazy. That's crazy canon. I love how they must have just used that as like a set, piece, and then.
What alien prosthetics do we have on the shelf? We got this one from Voyager.
Okay, so 40 seconds to one small step, which is the obligatory episode. That's just fine. It's a Chakotay episode, and I feel like that's all I need to say about it.
So sorry for going on for about the Holy Roman Empire, but I have a YouTube channel where I make videos about church history. So now I'm up to Reformation England. And so England was really strong compared to France or even the Holy Roman Empire because it was more centralized by the time we get to the Reformation.
Anyway, press play in 3, 2, 1, play. I don't know anything about the Holy Roman Empire other than it doesn't exist.
It's just, I really like thinking about the map, how it looked, centuries ago. Because like countries don't have anything close to the boundaries we would consider today.
Oh, wait, what year did they say it was? Did that say like 20? Was it 2032?
Yeah.
What year? So this can give us a timeline for when we should have people on manned missions to Mars.
Hey, Elon's got it pretty close.
Just like the timeline for the eugenics wars that took up most of the 90s.
Yeah, the eugenics wars, the Second American Civil War, and World War III. It should be fine. Should be good.
Wait, when is the Irish reunification supposed to happen? Isn't
Next
that
year.
2024 next
next
year.
year? Okay.
So here's what I have to say about that. We're having the Second American Civil War right now. The eugenics wars was suppressed by the media, and World War III is kicking off. I mean, like, have you been watching the news?
Yeah,
What
but
year is World
Brexit
War III?
could actually end up causing Irish reunification.
Yeah.
but we're not really
So-
genetically modifying humans yet.
You don't know that.
Well,
That's
we're
just what
doing-
they want you to think.
We're doing CRISPR, but
What
they're
I
not
want you
But
to
you
think.
think you think birds
is-
are real too.
Jeez.
they're not in
Where's
power.
What a bird.
Sheeple.
So, apparently, World War III begins in 2026.
Oh
In this
my God.
episode, it's 2032. So, apparently, World War III is not that bad.
Yeah, it doesn't stop the space program. That's nice.
Could be worse.
So China is developing its own ISS, and so is Russia. So, unfortunately,
It's not an ISS then, is it?
no. It's just whatever.
It's
but
just a
your-
space station.
It's a space
It's
platform.
an NSS.
yeah, National
Yeah.
Space Station.
It's
And-
the People's Space Station.
or you're just the ASS, which is autonomous.
Are you swearing on my Star Trek stream?
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
it's an autonomous space station.
Autonomous? Is
Sorry.
that the word you're looking
Why?
for?
Wait, hang on.
Autonomous?
Why are autonomous and autonomic pronounced so differently? What's the
Sorry,
deal with
I don't
English?
know. Thank you, Ryan. For
Why is our
Yeah.
language so trash?
I was reading something really interesting. It was in the Times.
Two different
How,
words, right?
yeah, but so it's a great idea that you would simplify English. Even the great writer George Bernard Shaw suggested we should move to a phonetic alphabet, just because it makes more sense. But you would have to add a few letters. Like S and SH would be different letters, ideally.
That's fine because there are
Diacritical
plenty
marks.
of letters we already have that are worthless, so we can just reassign them.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
letter C, it doesn't do anything. We don't need it.
But the problem is, though, English in the spelling, you can obscure certain roots, like know and knowledge. They're very connected. So as nice it would be to like just turn know into no, and knowledge into NO, LED, G.
We
I
can
mean-
shift the pronunciation.
You
that
could-
doesn't.
you kind of see the connection between the words, and it helps you understand a lot of the meanings. You would obscure that. if you
I think
just
people being able to spell things would be a pretty big improvement.
But funny thing, in Shakespeare's time,
Well,
they
just
didn't have
education.
standardized orthography. So, it wouldn't be wrong to spell a word however it sounded, because, there wasn't a standard spelling.
Right. He didn't even spell his own name consistently.
Yeah, he didn't.
Did Chakotay have to use replicator rations to get his custom upholstery?
But speaking of Shakespeare, I think Q disses him in a Voyager episode. He says the man couldn't sign his own name the same way twice.
Wait, I just heard Janeway say computer locate Neelix. What has he done? What did he do this time?
So why
Honestly,
was
I would have loved it if he just ran into the door.
why was Naomi in a bad mood in the last episode? What do the kids do there?
Because the Vaudwar children are evil and we're making fun of her.
Oh, okay, sorry.
They're making fun of Neelix.
Hey, directed by
Robert Picardo. Yes, the
Picardo.
Doctor.
That's nice.
Did she get permission to do this, or did she just... Yeah, no, she didn't. God, Seven.
You can't just touch the computer core 7.
What are the cybersecurity rules in Starfleet? Can you just, if you find a flash drive on some alien planet, you just plug it in. What's the deal? You can't just mess and install random programs. You want to hear a joke, Seven? Starfleet security protocols.
Yeah.
By the way, being assimilated is not really fun. I love how Chakotay just deflects that, though.
I like how Seven is considered a senior officer, even though she has no commission whatsoever.
I love how Seven is testing new designs in a production environment instead of a test environment.
Yeah.
That's how my old company used to work. Software company,
Well,
we
they
did
should
everything in
stop.
production. Everything. Well, with exactly the type of results you'd expect.
It's a... Okay, what it looks like to me is a star that's supposed to have like been spinning super fast, so it threw out some stuff around the equator. Or the equator, depending on how you like your English.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a stupid language where nothing has a correct pronunciation.
Mm-mm.
Wait, but
Wait, reverse
Wait.
the shield polarity. Why
while
not
the
just turn them
power's
off?
off. What do you want to bet the last time we saw a graviton ellipse was 2032 near Mars?
Yeah.
Wow.
What a twist.
Weeks?
Wait,
Uh,
that's a... Apparently we
it
made our
takes
ships
like
faster in the next decade.
takes a long time to get to Mars.
4 months.
Not if you go faster.
4 months. I mean, maybe they had a ship that was leaving and then they just went back.
Well, Ryan, you're limited to how quickly you can accelerate the squishy human bits inside. So even at like the absolute maximum acceleration the human could withstand, how fast could you actually get to Mars? If you're
I'm
basically
betting if
accelerating
you could
halfway there,
accelerate at
decelerating
1G toward
halfway.
Mars constantly, I bet you could get there pretty quick. I
I
don't
know
want to
about
do
that.
the bloody
Not
calculus
weeks.
right now. Now I kind of want to do the calculus.
Because again, you
Hang
have
on.
to decelerate half the way, exactly half at the halfway point. You just start decelerating. You have to be at orbital insertion speed, so you're
Yeah,
captured by the gravity.
Yeah, I forgot I can't go as fast as a New Horizons probe because I'm squishy.
Yes, you are squishy.
I need to go to the gym more.
I mean, you can get there. You won't be alive. You can get there. You'll be a corpse.
Okay, so the distance from Earth to Mars currently, apparently, is 105 million miles. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it's different.
It goes
Maybe
up and
we
down.
should make some assumptions here about what time of year it is.
We probably would have like an orbiting space station, in the asteroid belt or something that could deal with stuff.
Isn't the asteroid belt further out than Mars?
Yeah, but they could get to Mars faster than we could, right? Because
Like, is asteroid belt further from Mars than Earth?
series or whatever. So in the show The Expanse, there's people who live on Mars, which is a congressional republic, and people who live on the belts. And the Belters, they grew up in.
I watched The Expanse.
Beltalowda. They grew up in less gravity, so they're taller and thinner. But so would you rather settle on the belt, Ryan, or would you rather settle on Mars?
Would I rather settle in the asteroid belts?
Yeah.
Why would you want to settle in the asteroid belts?
You know, you get to do some asteroid mining.
You get to?
They're all the people from the belt are like horrifically maimed and have all sorts of horrible health side effects of living there.
Yeah, all the people on Mars suffer from a little bit of low oxygen anemia.
Okay, so I think my math is correct here, but if you constantly accelerated at 1g toward Mars until you got to halfway, then decelerated at 1g, it would take you 84 hours to get to Mars.
Okay, so
sure
being
about that.
squishy isn't the problem.
And you could accelerate it more than 1g.
Yeah, if you have fighter pilot training, you can go to like plenty.
Okay, keep in mind we're talking about a period of at least days here, so maybe like 1.2g max.
Maybe well, you're always under 1G, right? So is the problem then putting that fuel
Yeah, it would
in
take
orbit?
It would be so hard to burn at a constant 1g for like 2 days straight. When you're doing orbital mechanics, you get to a position where you're going to do your maneuver, then you do a burn in one direction, and then you just kind of go. You just kind of drift the rest of the way there. You get yourself pointed the right way, going the right speed, then you stop.
Cryostasis me for 80 days.
My God, he's an astronaut on some kind of Star Trek. John Kelly. Don't we have an actual astronaut named John Kelly?
Yep.
How long has he been an astronaut? Like, is this John Kelly named after real John Kelly?
Yeah, I think they were contemporaries.
What else is he supposed to do? Just, you can't talk about how helpful your shields are if they don't do anything. You've disabled the warp drive at 82%, Tom. Let's see, who are 7 of 9's role models? We have her dad, who got them assimilated, and her mom, who got them assimilated,
Mm-hmm.
and the Borg, who assimilated her.
The Borg Queen who invaded her mind.
This is a Star Trek trope I find interesting. How you can inoculate against any kind of radiation.
Mm.
It doesn't
Nice
matter how DNA melting it is. As long as you fortify the cellular membranes, you're good.
Yeah, it only works for like 45 minutes though.
Yeah.
Like I know you can, what is it, iodine? If you take
Mhm.
iodine, it stops stuff from binding to your cells, but it's not.
Mhm, mhm.
It doesn't really work against just the actual rays.
Yeah, like for example, I just saw this thing. When you are covered, let's say, God forbid, you're in a nuclear fallout zone, and you
We
shower.
all will be soon enough.
Don't use conditioner. You can use like water or shampoo to get it out of your hair, but conditioner seals all the oils in your hair. So then, you might still be like slightly irradiated or heavily irradiated, depending on how close you are. But yeah. So like you're saying, Ryan, the iodine might protect your thyroid from the radiation or whatever, because thyroid radiation is like one of the first things to like die from radiation. But the rest of you, like your hair and your skin and all the other cellular degradation, would not be
Moral of the
prevented.
story is avoid radiation.
It's bad stuff.
Like here?
Like the sun. Never go out into the sun. Stupid nuclear fusion reactor in the sky.
But if we ever get to Dyson Sphere level, we're all going, right? Everyone here?
Well, if we get to Dyson Sphere level in the next 60 years before I die, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, that would be bad for the third rock.
Did they say like they're certain it's not going to go back into subspace? Did they mention that? Because I feel like it could dip out of existence again.
Yeah, they're not worried about that, and they really should be.
They might have acknowledged it, and I just didn't hear it.
That's nice. They're like really exploring here. Space blob.
They're so casual about it. They're just like chatting about this anomaly. Captain Picard would never allow this level of joviality about an anomaly.
But the anomaly doesn't make any sense. Graviton ellipse. So graviton waves don't travel in like colorful clouds like that.
Okay, they did acknowledge it. Okay, they have 5 hours, 36 minutes. They're good.
Oh,
As
wow.
long as one of the characters in this shuttle doesn't do something really stupid to get them stranded there, so they have to repair it at the last minute, it should be okay.
It's picking up all kinds of debris. It's like a garbage patch in the ocean.
You could put the Enterprise in it, have it hauled away as garbage.
Wow, they did a good job with Chakotay. Oh, they're in Delta Flyer.
Ah, a rock.
Very, very good.
Metallic life forms? Wait, what is that? Wait. So they're not silicon based, they're metal based. They're like what?
Yeah.
What? Are
What are they based
robots?
out of?
Metallic.
They didn't say like they're made of steel, just metallic membranes. Oh my god, Chakotay, the origin of life is not some graviton ellipse.
It's like when they find those microorganisms on Mars, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, is that a basilicus of a
Grandpa?
bacteria? Or is that just like a something on the rock that's like circular. Paleontology.
Is
That's the wrong word.
well, I have a different question, which is
Paleoarchaeology is what he means. But
Jay
sorry.
or not
It's
Janeway.
not
Seven wanted to
archaeology
be a
because
ballerina.
this isn't a civilization. This would be studying the anomaly would be, what would you call this? Is some form of astrophysics, I guess.
Space anomalyism.
Okay.
But
Sorry,
Seven can just like be a ballerina, right? It's the Federation. She can do what she wants. She doesn't have a job.
She can be anything you want to be. I want to be
That's
president
true.
of the Federation.
You have to have a goat beard to do that.
A what?
A goat beard.
I got one.
No, you have a Billy Goat beard.
No.
A dark matter asteroid?
What
What does that mean?
Why do they still call it dark matter?
The
To know what
name's
it is
stuck.
now.
Don't worry about it.
I guess that's
think-
true. I guess that's possible.
This is the part where Star Trek becomes like a soft science fiction show. There's
Becomes?
no, no. Look,
I mean-
the other stuff it tries. So transporters and matter replication relies upon Einstein's matter and energy are equal. Okay, that's all E equals MC squared. There's nothing wrong with that.
Transporters have a lot to answer for, really.
E equals MC squared. Easy.
I mean, yeah, that one aspect of them isn't a problem.
Easy.
I mean, it is a problem. Where are they getting all that energy?
Yeah,
and data storage too, by the way, because like me on a subatomic level is going to be a lot of gigabytes.
So last episode, it was Seven's turn to be an idiot for a few minutes. Now it's Chakotay's turn. No, Chakotay, maybe just leave. Just leave.
Like the transporter buffer,
They're gonna become a permanent part of the anomaly.
they throw the signal. There's how does
That's
it
not. Are we sure that's what dark matter would look like?
how does it how does the transporter break down the signal from miles away?
Very well. Thanks for asking.
If you're concerned about the amount of energy transporter uses, think about the fact that in Discovery they have transporters built into their comm badges.
yeah.
Maybe we just like don't worry about the technical aspects of Star Trek.
Maybe it's just a soft science fiction show. There's no hard science fiction going on. But yeah, that's why we have graviton ellipses coming in and out of subspace, and what is it? Dark matter nebulas crashing into them with metallic life on asteroids.
Oh, I remember what happens now. They take a part from the derelict and they use it to fix their engines.
And Seven yells at Chakotay for being stupid. And almost getting them
Well,
killed.
I mean, that's fair because he
Yeah.
was.
We're explorers.
She's not wrong.
We come from a long line of explorers.
Okay, so episode 1, 7 stupid for an episode. Episode 2, Chakotay stupid. Episode 3, 7 is stupid again. They're trading off.
The idiot ball. They're passing it around.
We come from a long line of explorers. We have to go into this, and he picked the three most.
What if they
Best
just
people.
could they send another shuttle? I mean, not the Delta Flyer, but would a regular shuttle be fine? Because I'm wondering if they could just tractor the Delta Flyer out.
Could they tractor onto the module and then use the module's engines to drag them out? Yeah.
You know, I was watching Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and it starts off
Why?
with. I watched it twice actually because I got a new TV and a new speaker system. So Spock joins the Enterprise aboard this like little platform thing. It's not even a shuttle. He's like lying down, basically like Kalar does in that TNG episode, the one she appears in. But you can easily like send a platform or a photon or a tube in. We don't use that enough.
Oh, come on, Chakotay, don't.
Chakotay earned the attitude.
That's what I'm saying. Like in camping, if somebody causes everyone to get wet, they're gonna get yelled at. You deserve it. You forgot to stake the tent. Tell him, Seven.
His bruising looks suspiciously like makeup.
Yeah.
Good one, Chakotay. Good one. Good one. Because that assimilation joke I didn't find funny at all.
The important characters are all right, Captain. Yes, Harry, thank you.
I mean,
What if
it's
we
not,
take all of Voyager in? Could we take the whole ship?
and Voyager can go into subspace and follow it. Why are they acting like they don't know how to go into subspace?
Well, I don't think that's how the warp drive works. I don't think that it can take the whole ship to subspace.
Can you move the ship to subspace and move it impulse?
Oh, really? It's not?
How are So we're gonna go get a piece of 400-year-old tech from a derelict spacecraft from a ship that's clearly heavily damaged. Why can't we just replicate the part?
Yeah, 3D replicate.
Like that's not in great shape.
And she asked, do you have the energy to transport over there? So you must have the energy to replicate it. Just tell the replicator how to make it. I guess the shuttle's replicator isn't as advanced as the ship's replicator.
What does that even mean, though? How is one... It
Yeah,
either
that's
can
true.
replicate stuff or it can't, surely.
That's true. There shouldn't be a advancedness design because once you have the software interface, they should just know how to make it.
Chakotay, you're not in a position to make demands here.
I discovered, someone discovered this shipwreck at the bottom of a lake, and it has whiskey that's at least 300 years old. And the last shipwreck they found that they were able to recover whiskey from, it sold for about $12,000 a bottle. So this thing's estimated to have about $758 million of whiskey, assuming you can successfully extract all, a couple of dozen barrels that are at the bottom of this wreck. But that's what Chakotay tells Seven to look for. See anything interesting? Look around.
Like a old 20th century flashlight that's clearly on a wire that just got pulled off screen.
By the way, speaking of, I love when I watch flat Earth debunking videos, and the flat earthers are like, "Oh, look, the live stream NASA's doing for the International Space Station. Obviously, those astronauts are on strings, and like then the astronauts do a circle, or like they spin their toothpaste or something. It's like, how do you explain all that weightlessness going on? It's not strings."
Chakotay, you've already nearly gotten everybody killed. Why are you still insisting on the just nostalgia? Just complete the
Remember,
mission.
he said it's his hero. So imagine finding
The corpse of your hero dead in space. And you will soon join him if you don't get the part and leave.
Yeah, that's the episode basically.
Just leave. Get the part and go.
Oh man, this is a tearjerker. He's getting us all the information so Seven could bring it home 4 centuries later. Because that's what a scientist does. They log data for scientific study, empirical data for future generations.
Okay, so Mr. Kelly here has been inside the anomaly for 4 or 5 days at this point.
This is really messed
So
up, actually.
it's gone back into subspace. And it only comes out occasionally, so what? What happens to somebody if they leave this anomaly in subspace?
Yeah. I guess if you murdered someone and you hid the body in subspace, they'd never find it, right?
Proof of alien life.
Pretty
Or that's
amazing.
part of his ship that fell off.
That's pretty cool. He's the first person ever to realize we got life in the galaxy.
Except for that time a Vulcan who looks like one of the Stooges landed in... Where did they land?
In Nebraska?
So basically nowhere. Nowhere of
No,
consequence.
it was Indiana. It was like Ohio, like
It was Carbon Creek somewhere.
Carbon Creek, yeah. Nowhere.
And then the alien started dating one of the people there. I also have a number of questions about that episode. When they first go into town in that episode, they're like, "Oh yes, our car broke down outside of town. We're just passing through. We're on our way to a big business conference." And then they just stay there for months. Nobody
Yeah.
questioned it.
Yeah, they just decided to like settle and abandon their car.
Well, this is my life now. I keep wanting to say Montana, but it's probably not Montana. Montana's official first contact.
Yep, Bozeman. So, paleontology is the branch of science concerned with fossil animals and plants.
What's the thing at the bottom of Seven's helmet on the outside? Is that a speaker?
Good question. Yeah, that's a speaker, yeah. I'm watching it on a big screen. But the other thing is, Carbon Creek is in Pennsylvania, right? Oh, those are the first contact suits.
It's the assimilate this uniform.
Yeah.
He's just hallucinating now.
Yeah. Also, solitary
He's having a
confinement
good time.
is very detrimental to like one's sanity. We're very social animals. We're not meant to be isolated. He's being funny here.
Does it though?
Yeah, but
How are you gonna share the information, John?
yeah, for all you know, this information's dying with you. But he's a great man. It never ceases to astound me, living in our modern era of technological proliferation, that science is the compendium of like human knowledge of all of our empirical data, observation, and testing. And it took like it took hundreds of thousands of years to develop language, then fire, then the wheel, and history. So we keep passing good stuff down to each other, and that's what it's all about. Passing knowledge to each other.
Okay, we are now down one astronaut. And Seven finally gets the part. She's been just kind of sat there watching TV for 20 minutes.
Listening to his depressing diary. Everyone's
maybe we could have just downloaded that and left and listened to it later.
Yeah, listen together. But everyone's like trying to listen to the what happened over there.
It's not the time for this, John. Quit looking at, just leave. Seven, come on. No, Seven, you need that.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's taking his corpse. Okay.
Do they have enough power to transport two things?
Don't worry about it.
Well, one of them is inanimate matter, so it's just cargo.
Savage?
But I just said, do they have enough energy to transport two things?
Apparently, they do.
I'm just saying, like a person, like in Star Trek,
you don't have to store the neural patterns. It's super easy.
It's much easier. 3 things then, right? 7, the boiler, and the guy.
The boiler?
I'm just calling it a boiler. My
Where
cousin.
Are they keeping his corpse?
my
they
cousin
put it in on one of the unused escape pods. Just
my cousin has a house that was built in 1923, and when they had to get the boiler fixed, they were like, they don't even make that anymore, much less the parts. So it really sucks that you have to get a whole new thing. So it's kind of incredible here that a 24th century shuttle could use parts from something that's like 400 years old. And like Ryan said, it's in probably corroded condition.
Would you plug like a 1980s power supply into your computer?
No. No, I wouldn't.
I mean, even, by the way, if your power supply isn't gold rated, you really shouldn't even plug it into your computer.
think mine's titanium or platinum. I don't know.
Yeah,
La di da.
but yeah, even gold
Um,
rated is subject to failures.
It's just the rating is how efficient it is. It's not how often
Yeah.
it fails. So you theoretically you could have like a bronze that's just really robust. It's just not very efficient. But it's the efficiency difference is like you're talking about percents. Like it's a few percent different. So
The average person is fine getting bronze. You're saying?
the average person is probably fine with bronze. Yes.
Thanks.
So another thing that is stuck around from the old days of power supplies is the efficiency charts. So back in the day, people would say, "Oh, you need like double the wattage of what your system uses for your power supply because power supplies were most efficient at like 50, 60% load. So that's where you would want your power supply to be all the time. However, modern power supplies are just as efficient at like 99% load as they are at like 30%. Like from 30 to 99% load, it's basically flat. It's like 90. The spread is like from 90% to 92% at the peak in the middle, and then back down to 90% at like 90. So like it makes no difference. They take those charts, those efficiency charts, and they scrunch the y-axis to make it look like a rainbow. But if you look at the bottom of the y-axis is like 90%, and the top is like 92, 93, and it's like okay, well.
But we're having a funeral, so for where you're wearing a hat, please take it off.
How come the randos in the background aren't in dress uniform?
What if your hat is for religious purposes?
Those are very expensive, Ryan. The dress uniforms, they have all the special gold.
Oh, that extra in the background in the yellow shirt, I actually know that person. Well, not personally. That's Lieutenant Ayala.
Yeah,
don't
we
know if
see
we'll
her
see
later,
him.
don't we?
No, the dude. But he comes up in many episodes. In the background, to the right of Kim.
Oh, okay, thanks.
That's Lieutenant Ayala.
Cool. I want to blow that whistle.
Wait, they're not shooting him out the thing?
Yeah,
Why
they
was
are.
he on the bridge?
Because
They're
that's
giving
where
him
they
a
hold funerals sometimes, when it's the
proper
set they
funeral.
have lit that day.
Don't they
And-
normally like do the mess hall? So wait. The torpedo casket was on the bridge. How did it get to the torpedo launcher?
Transport, shut up.
I mean, they cut and it was like instantaneous,
there's a torpedo launcher right on the bridge.
but it didn't come out
It's
of the
fine,
bridge.
don't worry about it.
That's where they put it.
Also, I'm doing a real quick scroll through the Vodwar episode because I want to see the pop-in of Voyager.
Pop
And I
in.
missed it the first time. There it was.
Yeah,
okay.
I saw it.
Yeah, and I need to get queued up again properly, unblur the screen.
It looks like they have a bunch of Star Wars ships, the Vodwar. Those look like Star Wars ships to me. Kind of.
The screen unblurred? Okay, yes, the screen is now properly unblurred. So at 1830 in the Vodwar episode, if you look about here where my cursor is on the right side, you might notice Voyager a little bit of pop-in. Why? Hang on. Do it again. Play it back. It's just the nacelle. There it goes.
That's a 3D the glitch. Okay, cool.
They did occlusion culling in a pre-rendered thing. Why?
The shadow pops too, by the way.
It's just... I don't know why they did that. Anyway, what I do know is that the next episode... I actually don't know the next one. What's the next one? Oh, it's the Voyager conspiracy. Okay. Let me
Is that
queue
when
up-
Seven has schizophrenic paranoid delusions?
They're not schizophrenic.
She's
It's her
totally
turn to
paranoid.
have a really stupid idea.
Okay.
They go back and forth.
I thought Chakotay was a sociologist, like a anthropologist. When did he become a paleontologist?
Same thing, don't worry about it.
Okay.
He's also an archaeologist.
Yeah.
And a xeno-archaeoanthropologist.
Xenobiology.
Yeah, the Voyager conspiracy, it's a pretty good episode. I like it. It feels like Seven is making terrible decisions again. But, it's just how it goes. But the decision you need to make is whether you're going to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Naomi Wildman? Why is she pretending to regenerate? Naomi, that's not a good role model. Also, this is really messed up by Seven. She's canceling a Codescot game to modify her alcove to function as a processing subunit. You can't just cancel Codescot to modify your alcove. That's so rude.
She did.
So rude.
But she just did.
You wouldn't download a sensor log. Nope, Seven, this is crazy. Seven, this isn't how brains work.
Incompatible.
It's not that different. She just needs like an implant. She'll be fine. Also, it just occurred to me that Seven's quarters are bigger than anyone else on the ship.
So did you see that Saudi Arabia is planning on building a Borg cube?
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Giant cubicle building.
It's basically they're building a with the walled city, Quan something, that they tore it down about 10 years ago, I think.
So they're making a giant mecha.
They're making their own version, like a planned version of that walled city.
What?
It was called Kowloon Walled City. And they tore it down. When did they tear it down?
So they're making 94. A cube that's 400 meters on a side.
So it's slightly bigger than a Borg cube, because a Borg cube is 3 kilometers on each side.
No, it's 400 meters, 0.4 kilometers.
Oh, 400. I thought you said 4,000 meters.
It's definitely much smaller than a Borg cube.
Yeah, it's like less than 1/8 of the volume of a Borg cube.
But why are they making a cube?
Because they're going to build a city inside of this giant cube, I guess.
There's no way this gets built. There is zero chance they actually complete this. Because that's... I'll believe it when I see it.
You know what's wild? You know the Leaning Tower of Pisa? Do you know how long that took to build?
No, I've never heard of it. Tell me more.
Do you know how long it took to build Leaning Tower of Pisa?
About a week, and that's why it's leaning, because they rushed a job.
199 years. 199 years.
Wow.
I'm like, I've been there. I saw it in person. I'm like, this took 199 years? This?
Is Saudi Arabia, are they also the ones that want to make that big line city?
No idea.
Who are the ones that want to make a line? Yes, okay, it's Saudi Arabia. It's literally just called The Line, and it's just It's exactly what it sounds like. So they're just what is Saudi Arabia doing? They're trying
Whatever
to make
they
a big
want.
line.
With
They're trying to make
giant
a big
pile of
cube.
money. They're really into geometry. Okay.
Are they the origin of the Borg? I mean, I'm aware that Saudi Arabia and sort of that general region is pretty much the birthplace of mathematics, but they don't have to be that into geometry. Come on. Photonic fleas? Are they fleas that wait. So they're either fleas that are made of photons or they're fleas that eat photons, in which case they can just hang out around like lights, right? You can get photons anywhere. This is going to be the whole episode. It's all flashbacks. It's not even a clip show. These are new flashbacks. Plasma. Wait, why are they called photonic fleas if they eat plasma? What's. How did these work? How do they have access to the plasma? Are you telling me that your conduits have plasma exposed? Because there were like metal tubes in there. How did they get in? I have concerns. Oh, hey, it's that one hallway. They built exactly one room in a Jeffries tube, and it's this one.
Well,
I just
shit.
don't understand how they're disrupting anything, because those are metal casings.
No.
Oh yeah, the graviton catapult. I forgot about this. Wow. Wow, that sounds super convenient to our specific circumstance. Perhaps we could help each other. Honestly, I think the main reason... Actually, does this work in the end? I don't remember. I feel like it probably does. But in any case, it would have worked a lot better if it was a quantum trebuchet.
Quantum trebuchet. I like that idea.
Catapults are the inferior form of quantum drive. I like his makeup, though. Yes, you are, Janeway. Come on. Ah, I see her plan. Make him think it was his idea.
Yeah.
I
Hong
see.
Kong.
Also, it's oh yeah, it is one way, isn't it? It's not gonna. Okay, some dogs just started freaking out outside. Cool. So yeah, it's just. I guess he doesn't care who finds it after he leaves.
He just wants to go home. Why should he care? Do you think he should like make it self-destruct after he uses it?
I, I just guess he doesn't have an equivalent to the Prime Directive. Starfleet would never leave technology laying
He's
out like
just a
that.
private citizen. He just wants to go home.
Where did he get the materials?
His chip thing, maybe?
Oh, come on. Does he look like a caretaker to you? I wonder how much of this is just the information she's processing doesn't make sense together, and how much of it is sleep deprivation because she's not actually resting. She just gets continually more freaked out as we go. Oh, now that's a flashback.
Yeah.
Yes, Seven, we've all seen the show. Thank you.
Previously. Very previously.
On Star Trek
Voyager.
Voyager. God, I really want someone to beam over there to investigate, and they immediately just like melt from radiation. It's like, no, I told you it's dangerous. What are you doing?
So in paranoid schizophrenia, a person starts to see paranoid delusions, and they start connecting the dots and see things that aren't there. It's actually really terrifying. But so the funny thing is, though, our brain, it's just a dot connecting machine. It's pretty much what it does. It recognizes patterns from old information. And so in a normal way, it's a healthy thing. But when it gets to be extreme, you're like connecting every single dot to every single other dot, and how it's all goes back to the KGB or something. Oh, and another thing about paranoid schizophrenics, they're usually it's like whatever the heyday, like the zeitgeist of the time is. So in the 80s, they thought they were being followed by the KGB. Today it would be like, I don't know, terrorism or something.
Hmm.
So, or the Edward Snowden people are listening to me. Well, in that case, the government is listening to you. So that's the tough part.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so sometimes, there actually might be something amiss. And that's the thing. And so what a genius, for example, like Einstein, right? He was able to synthesize all the math and the data of like the people before him, and then they couldn't understand the black body problem of like how electrons behave. And so applying his brain, he came up with, general and special relativity. So geniuses, they connect dots and they see things that the rest of us can't see. And crazy people, they connect dots and they see things that the rest of us can't see. So sometimes you don't know if somebody's.
So what you're saying is Wolf 359 was an inside job.
I'm saying. I'm saying maybe NASA's all just a cover up, and the CIA killed Kennedy, and we never went to the moon, and Wolf 359 was an inside job. Well, we know Locutus was giving them information. But what I like about this episode is Seven's theory keeps evolving. Like at the end, she's like, "Yes, now I know why you really came to the Delta Quadrant, Janeway. It was to retrieve."
How many
me."
times does she say in this episode, I finally figured it out?
She's like, "It's me you were after. Your job was to bring back Annika Hansen from the Borg Collective and all her research secrets from her father. It had nothing to do with chasing the Maquis through the Badlands. That was just a facade."
Okay, so this bit of paranoia from Seven. Why? Sir, a charge of half that yield would have been sufficient, sure, but it's like the charge was already on the torpedo. Why not use the full charge? What would be the point of deliberately reducing the explosive force? Yep, seems legit. She has a picture of a blue line at the time of the explosion. You've given me a great deal to think about, conspirator. What if it was Neelix's shuttle, cloaked, producing the tractor beam?
That's how she's countering Neelix.
Honestly, Seven, why do you even care? Wait. How old was Kes when we met her? Was she 2?
No. She was not quite 2.
So, when Neelix was getting very close to her, she was less than 1 year old? Is that what we're saying?
Less than 2. Less than 2.
Yeah.
I think the show is just
a big yikes.
really expecting people not to... It just wants people not to think about Kes too much. Not her age. It's like, no, clearly she's like in her 20s. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I really don't care. I don't understand why they care so much if he's using something from caretaker technology. If it means there's a caretaker nearby, that makes sense. And they mentioned that, but just the fact that he's using the tech, who cares?
And then you have foolish people like Neelix who will just like feed the paranoia and be like, yeah, Kes knew, there was a conspiracy. It's like, she's not here to speak for
Tetryon
herself.
particles can't melt uranium beams.
Yeah.
Oh god, she's assimilating information on Neelix. Don't do it. You have so much to live for.
So that's the same warp jump thing that they had a few seasons ago. When
is he only going 100 light years?
Yeah. I guess
That's all he needed?
Yeah. He could have just flown, but whatever.
You have to, the Wright brothers, the first flight was only like 17 feet.
But that was just because the Wright brothers just wanted to fly. This guy's like desperate to get home, but it's like next door. This is like building a car in your neighbor's garage.
Just so you could go down to the local 7-Eleven.
I mean, I build cars in the garage. Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, but did you... Okay, let me redo this. This is like building a car in your neighbor's garage. giving it to your neighbor so they can drive you home, and they get to keep the car.
That's a lot of effort.
He could just like go home. It's not that big a deal. Just leave. But of course they were. Janeway and Tuvok are part of Section 31, working with the Cardis.
So another function of this kind of schizophrenia is that I was watching this interview with this guy who went through treatment. He's like, we all can get the feeling like we're being watched, or like, is that car following me, or did I see that car 2 hours ago on the highway? And that's normal. But like a paranoid schizophrenic will say, I know that car is following me, and I know who it is.
Are you speaking from experience here?
No, I watched this hour-long interview by Charlie Rose of someone who recovered from their paranoid delusions. But I thought it was really interesting because he wrote like 150-page thesis on the meaning of life, and I do stuff like that too. So I tell myself to watch out for schizophrenia.
So far, all this information fits within what they already know about the caretaker.
Oh, it was Neelix's ship. Dun dun dun.
Why would the caretaker be working militarily with the Cardassian? Why?
And the Federation. Don't forget that.
And besides, the caretaker, you showed up and he gave you corn. He can't be evil. Free corn.
So this is how Reddit works. One person proliferates some garbage theory, and everybody else starts signing on without thinking about it very hard at all. 4chan, 8chan.
Somebody say 4chan?
Chakotay's like, tell me more about this theory.
That's just what I heard as I joined. I think that's the word that summons me.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's hard to tell when a conspiracy is too much of a conspiracy. I think some documents were declassified that the FBI knew about JFK's assassination.
Nope.
That there was a threat.
So, Seven asked a really good question here. Why did Janeway destroy the array? And why did she use torpedoes to do it?
I think
Was it terrible decision making, or was it a plan?
Oh, I love this episode. Anyway, she didn't use torpedoes. She used the tricobalt device.
Yeah, and those are not part of standard Federation gear. So
Yeah.
Explain that. Explain that.
Anyway, I think that when you hear about these things, like the FBI knew about JFK or the CIA knew about 9/11, I'm pretty sure it was like less so they knew and they didn't do anything, but more so they maybe saw like a warning sign which wasn't taken seriously or processed appropriately.
Yeah.
Mr. Trash. It's always really easy to say that after the fact.
Yeah, it's true that you take the smallest tidbit of information and then you turn it into, well, they planned the JFK assassination.
Yeah. The JFK assassination was planned by the FBI, the CIA, the YMCA, and Ryan's edits.
Because he was going to pull us out of. Because he was going to
Turns
pull us
out
out of Vietnam.
I killed JFK.
Ryan's edits was the second shooter.
He was going to pull us out of Vietnam.
I edited the presidential succession.
He edited our head of state, everybody, and edited history by extension. Ryan comes from an alternate timeline where Star Trek is real. He's from the future. He's like that guy from the future in that one Next Generation episode. You know, where he like flies around in a piece of drywall.
Okay, I'm kind of losing what 7 point here is, because, like, she's like, ah, she didn't shoot people. She must be evil.
So this is the writers just talking through us.
This is all true. Why else would Captain Janeway freaking keep getting off course every 2 weeks?
It is 263 times.
Wait, do we see every time?
Hang on. Wait, how many episodes have we had? Is it 262?
Well, let's...
They said 262 times Janeway diverted course to explore.
There aren't 263 episodes of Voyager total, right? Because there's like 26 over 7 seasons. That's less than 200, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 182 total.
Wow.
Okay.
So that means more than
once per episode.
They just don't show us the ones where where they just don't find anything. Like they divert course for exploration. And they were like, oh, it's.
I mean,
space. It's space.
They didn't show us all the ones where Janeway was
Did he just invent
sketchy.
a new thumbs up sign?
That's a good one.
I'm using that.
Okay.
There's coffee in that nebula. That's a literal Janeway quote. She's literally more concerned about the coffee in the nebula than she is about getting home.
Now this is where he pulls B'Elanna into the co-conspiracy.
I love how this is like the drum head, but even more contrived.
It's what John Oliver calls the Trump administration stupid Watergate.
Worf, if Worf was here, he'd be like, of course, Captain Janeway could be a Borg drone or a Romulan.
So this is the stupid drumhead episode. Okay.
Yeah. If a Cardassian ship got pulled into the Delta Quadrant as well by the caretakers, I think they imply that happened, right?
Yeah, but
why did they join up with them too? They would have a vested interest in getting back.
The Cardassians got sent back.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I think
good for them.
Yeah.
Allegedly, all 7 really knows is the Kardashian ship disappeared.
Kardashians.
Okay.
Riley and Caitlin and so here's the question: Why did Starfleet think for so long that the ship was just gone, destroyed? If the other ship came back, wouldn't they have been like, "Hey guys, this crazy thing happened. We got sucked across the galaxy, experimented on, and then sent back."
Maybe the Cardassians.
Maybe that's what happened to your ship because it was in the exact same place.
Well, I mean, the Cardassians wouldn't admit that they got probed. You know, they're very insecure about that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I feel like that's something they might have mentioned.
I would love to see Voyager, but it's all Seska. That would be a show I would watch.
Seska was planted there by Starfleet, and the only reason Janeway had her eliminated is because the rest of the crew found out.
That's a good one.
What?
God, 7, come on.
7, come on.
The Maquis, who, by the way, are all dead. You're saying they're a threat to the Federation. You know, when they died. Remember that,
This
7?
is all just an elaborate plan to have the Maquis make off with the photonic cannon.
She's really going into this history. Like, there's the Zapruder film that supposedly shows Kennedy, getting shot.
Look at how much 7 is like shaking around.
She's doing the angry paranoid thing really good.
Is she angry or is she like on meth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's definitely charged with her anger.
This is what happens when you go to visit 4chan.
Remember, when you're gonna go visit 4chan, don't.
Yeah.
One night I had a dream where Elon Musk invented what was only referred to as, quote, the sequel to 4chan. And this was before the whole Twitter thing happened, and so I consider that to be very prophetic.
The whole Twitter, I don't care. Never
So
mind.
wait.
Wow,
Tuvok-
Ryan, I
Tuvok-
care about what you say, which is why I interrupt you all the time.
Tuvok's
I-
a double agent, triple agent, because he's working for the Maquis while he was working for Janeway.
But this whole time, he's actually been working for, what was his name, Lord Helmet? He reports back to him, and he's like, "We found shit."
So the same piece of evidence is good enough for two theories. Uh-oh. She got a photograph. I also had a relative who had schizophrenia, so I really watch out for the disease. It's a really interesting disease, actually, because, like I said, the brain's natural function is just to connect patterns, and yet there's such a thing as too much of a good thing.
So okay. Seven thinks that Chakotay's plan is to revive the Maquis and destroy the Federation. How does the catapult factor into that? I don't understand how the catapult factors in. It's a one-way thing.
What?
He can't bring ships into the quadrant.
How the heck? Not overlooking the fact that the matter of how the Maquis would overthrow the Federation. What would happen, like, when they took over? Is like, yes, we've liberated you from your democratically elected government, and we've replaced it with a different one. You're adopted.
Wow, way to stereotype a whole species, Seven.
To be fair, we've never seen an election on Star Trek.
We've never seen what on Star Trek? An election? Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
we've never seen an election.
I just
Not
like
true.
to
We've
point
seen
out
multiple
that
coups, though.
Naomi's never even met her father, hasn't she?
No, her father was in the Alpha Quadrant. He's gone. Janeway, why do you have a gun? Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing it up, Show.
I think it's because she's been telling.
They're
She's
both
been-
ready to kill each other.
Yeah. She's been telling Chakotay that Janeway's out to get you, and she's been telling Janeway Chakotay's out to get you.
I love the LCD screen built into the enhanced alcove.
Oh my god, quit talking around each other. Either shoot each other or just talk normal.
Vaporize each other, and then Tuvok takes over. He's immune to this bullshit.
That was his plan the whole time.
And then he brings he hands over Voyager to Dark Helmet.
I really love, again, the human brain. You know, all it does is it recognizes patterns, and we're so good at it. Another way this behavior is seen when people analyze Bible verses, and sometimes they can come up with their own like cult or prophecy. In the 1880s, there was a Millerite cult. They believed that like Christ was coming back in 1881, and they all waited because they had analyzed enough verses, and they were sure. They were so sure, and then the day came and passed. And the cult still goes on. It's the founder of Seventh-day Adventism, which is one of the fastest growing denominations.
What are the Seventh-day Adventists doing with a quantum catapult, though?
They're trying to destroy the Federation and create a Seventh-day Adventist theocracy. No, they're using it.
Oh, is that how we got the Vosh?
They're gonna use it to pull Jesus out of heaven.
No, okay. By the way, Seven seriously proposed Chakotay and Seska's baby.
One way or another.
Chakotay and Seska's baby was going to be the origin of a new Kazon cult. And I'm listening to that and like, a new race, huh? Kazon.
Soon we will have a new apprentice.
Hey,
one far younger.
Seska's, I mean, Chakotay's son would have been a virgin birth. Which makes the child the Messiah and Chakotay God, and it all makes perfect sense as long as you don't think about it at all.
A new Kazon sect, huh?
Seven, strictly speaking, I don't think you were ever under her command.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much our politics for the past 4 years.
There's a major flaw in Seven's conspiracy about the Federation in that the catapult's one way. They can't bring Federation starships in.
Haven't you used catapults? Go both ways, Ryan. Haven't you used a catapult before? You set it upright and it sucks rocks into itself from hundreds of feet away.
Also, she's distinctly not remembering history. Starfleet did not vouch for this mission that her parents went on. They really wouldn't prefer not to. It
was Black Ops. It was Section 31. It was
the scientific council did say okay, but
Seven. Do you remember the part where she tried to eject you into space? How did that fit into the plan?
It was orchestrated by like the Federation Council.
Janeway was conspiring with big pressurization.
Yeah,
big air.
Yeah.
With this.
When I was about 14 years old, I read a really great book called The End of Days, which talked about the end times prophecies of Islam, Judaism, Christianity. And again, people who obsess over the Book of Revelation and 12 years here and 13 years there, and a third of the grass was going to be burned up. But I remember.
Oh, so we can avoid Armageddon if we replace all our lawns with clover.
So we can, if we replace all the defense against the Antichrist through AstroTurf.
So this one Muslim end times, interpreter who had his own prophecies going on, he had all these series of calculations, like 3,000 years from the building of the temple until today. So the New York Times
does that account for leap years?
Right. So the New York Times journalist who wrote the book, he's like, I didn't have the heart to tell him that his calculations were off by 1 because there is no year 0. So if you're subtracting BC years from AD years, you have to skip the year.
Nice.
So you can divide by 19 or whatever all you like. You're still not gonna, your math is all wrong.
I like how Isaac Newton invented classical mechanics and optics and all that jazz, and then he was also time for me to. Yeah, and then he was like, "Fuck it, time to do math to discover the second coming."
Hold on a second.
I highly recommend the Internet Historian video.
How
about
does she know all
camping.
these dates?
That's how you do it.
The way you determine the date of the apocalypse is you add the number of loaves of bread that Jesus ate to the number of fish that John caught.
Right. Divided by the number of days he walked around after the resurrection.
Yeah, and Christ returned in 1970. Or I say 1978. I meant 978.
But you gotta love how Janeway gives her a new narrative. Because if your brain is just like looking for stories that fit the facts, then it's like, well, how about the time I just taught you how to be a person?
Neelix is the second coming.
Janeway beams aboard the Delta Flyer, gets Seven to lower the force field, and phases her before she can do more damage. Janeway, you brought a gun, right?
This whole episode, this moment of emotional intimacy is really underscored by the complete insanity that was the rest of this episode.
Yeah.
Janeway, gun.
Gun. Use gun on
Kiss.
7.
Now kiss. Kiss.
With a
Who's
gun?
gonna fly the ship back?
Yeah.
They're just gonna tractor it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
They could beam it in because I just remembered that they could beam shuttles back into bays in Deja Q.
Oh well, we cut 3 years off our journey, guys. All that more than one detour per episode.
If only we could figure out a way to reverse engineer this catapult and build another one. This is what happens when you read too much Wikipedia.
She has the whole collective's knowledge in her brain. So
Somehow.
I don't think the Voyager's database would be a problem. But okay.
She read all of Tom Paris's human car fan fiction, and it drove her insane.
You know,
Are you gonna play God is God now? Yes.
it kind of reminds me, Nietzsche, he went crazy by the end of his life. And the thing that sponsored it, that's prompted it, was he saw a horse being whipped by its owner. So he just went stark raving mad after that. But yeah, 7 pretty much loses it. It's a miracle we got her back, actually. She should just be writing chalk on the walls of the brig for the rest of the show.
As we all know, Star Trek is written by a raving madman writing on the walls.
It's
Benny
written, yeah.
Russell.
Oh yeah.
Remember
He
when
needs to write the words, Brother Benny.
Yes. Remember when Gul Dukat fell into the fire caves? He read the custom motion and he turned into a pillar of salt.
So, the captain and first officer almost kill each other this episode.
I mean, yeah, basically. But that would have been... What's the stupidest thing that almost decapitated Voyager's leadership? Because this has got to be a contender.
I mean, the cheese was pretty good.
The cheese was pretty good. There was Threshold. Imagine if they couldn't find a way to change him back.
It's just sometimes people say that, oh, I wish I could live in the Star Trek universe. I want to be in Starfleet. No, you don't. That place is awful. Never join Starfleet. It's just, you're gonna get turned into a salamander. You're gonna get shot. You're gonna phase through a wall. It's a bad place.
What would you do in the Star Trek universe, Ryan?
Stay on Earth.
You wouldn't go aboard the Enterprise and try and convince the crew to like reenact the intakes.
Maybe visit the Earth. Maybe visit the Enterprise while it's in dock. But no, absolutely do not surf on the Enterprise.
What would you do on Earth, Ryan?
What would happen,
Would
Ryan?
you make delicious food at your New Orleans restaurant?
Hold on a second. Ryan would go aboard the Enterprise as a tour when it was in space talk, and then all of a sudden they'd be like, "We're the only ship in the quadrant, and we gotta go head off Voyager or the
They would.
whale probe or the planet killer," and now you're on the ship and you're going on one of these missions. And they don't have time to unload you anywhere.
Yeah, and then when you get hit, you get sucked into the Vagirna.
The Nexus.
Yeah.
Why is the Enterprise always the closest ship? It's always the closest ship.
It's like it's a magnet for the whole show. Is all these disasters are orchestrated by Q, who wants to create episodes of television to watch.
This kind of stuff never happens to the Cardassians or the Klingons. It's just
Well, the Cardassians
Federation
got sent to
starships.
the Delta Quadrant. They just got to go back.
yeah, they didn't have all the crazy shenanigans. They just went there and went home. That was it. That was the extent.
Imagine the Cardassians.
It's just the Federation starships that go crazy.
Imagine the Cardassians running into the Equinox, and they find out that the crew's been like doing mad, unethical, crazy stuff, and they're like, "Okie doke, see ya."
Nice.
Nice. Can we have one of the space flutes?
Okay, so next week's episodes are Pathfinder with Lieutenant Broccoli. Maybe it's Lieutenant Commander now.
I think it's Lieutenant. Did you know that Broccoli is in
Brocker?
more? Yeah, he is in more Voyager episodes than Next Gen episodes.
Is he?
Yes, he is a
He only
de
has like
facto.
3 TNG episodes, right?
He has Hollow Pursuits. He has Nth Degree. He has the episode with Moriarty, the follow-up episode. He has the episode where he turns into a spider.
And then there's the one where he sees the monsters in the transporter buffer.
Right. TNG episodes with original.
Okay, I'm looking at his memory alpha. Let's see the appearances section. He has 5 appearances in TNG, 6 in Voyager.
Wow.
But also 1 in Star Trek First Contact, which is also TNG. So it's 6 to 6.
What does he do in First Contact?
I think he's just kind of there. I don't
I'd
think he
love to
does
see him
anything.
get assimilated.
God, poor Borg.
Freaking Worf has to. Oh, no, it would be Geordi. Geordi has
You
to
ruined
fight
a
off.
perfectly good cyborg. You gave them anxiety.
Geordi has to fight off Borg Broccoli, and he's like, "Reg, you're really."
Oh, man.
freaking-"
If Reg got assimilated by the Borg and like the whole collective collapses, must assimilate. Deanna Troy needs counseling.
The other episode, Jesus. The microphone couldn't even process that sound you just made.
What was that? That's the sound of billions of Borg dying out into depression.
Okay, so the other episode Barclay was in TNG was Genesis, where he turned into a spider.
Yes.
Yes.
God, poor man. Anyway, the second episode next week is Fairhaven, which is Ireland. Stereotype
Dresses-
Ireland.
Dresses like a spider, walks like a bug. Maybe we just need one
No,
big
be
hug.
silent. Okay, muted. Good. So, and then the last episode next week is Blink of an Eye, which is excellent.
Oh, that's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah,
It's
it's one of the best episodes of Voyager.
This may be the best one.
Maybe. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Blink of an Eye is the one where they find the planet that spins super fast, and the time is accelerated by like 1,000,000 times, so they just watch an entire society. And if they just hung out there for another day, they could have been sent home super easy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What was the planet doing before they got there?
That was like Stone Age.
Well, like,
I
mean,
assume
that planet's
species
gotta
rise
be,
and
like-
fall every other day in real time there. So they just happen to come across the next species to rise, and then it'll fall.
but like that planet must have been sitting there with like the time, like sitting on fast forward for like 1 billion
Billions of
years.
years,
Before, yeah, and like nobody got off of it.
Don't worry about it.
Maybe they seeded the entire galaxy.
It's because that chunk wasn't loaded, and it only started processing once Voyager got within range.
Oh, okay. So
Chunk wasn't loaded.
all of the aliens and planets they encounter are just procedurally generated as they.
Yeah.
as
Things
they-
only start happening once the cell is loaded.
Okay.
Star Trek exists in a simulation. Therefore, if nobody is present to observe, it's not running. It's not doing anything. Come on.
What happens when what happens? I'm trying to think of what is. I was trying to think of Benny Russell, but I could only think of Benny Hill. Like when he runs out of space on the walls to write on.
He starts.
He paints over it.
Yeah.
They start again. Okay, so yeah, next week, Pathfinder, Fairhaven, Blink of an Eye. I think Fairhaven's really good. A lot of people seem to disagree, but I think it's really good. It's fun.
Some people might be kind of unfair haven.
Okay. This stream is over. We're done. The week shall perish.
I like to.
The higher, the fewer.
I like to imagine that I.
No, stop imagining. The stream's over. I need to have it silent for a few seconds so I can hit the end stream button.
I just like to point out that I feel like I get to be responsible for